All right, explorers, welcome back. Today, we are dropping into one of Earth's hottest features, literally. I'm talking about volcanoes. Now, I want you to think of our planet's surface like it's this huge open world game, right? The tectonic plates, those are the giant map tiles. And when they shift around, the whole world can get a major patch up. And those updates are exactly what we're diving into today. So let's go ahead and respawn right at the source, the magma chamber, to see how these things build up new land and sometimes, completely nerf the entire server. Okay, so first up, the volcano spawn point. We're going to find out where this magma is actually made and how it gets its starts. So you might be wondering, how does magma even form in the first place? What's so cool about this is that it's not just some big old pool of lava just sitting there. Nope. It's actually solid rock deep down in the Earth's mantle that melts, but only under really specific conditions. We're talking a sudden drop in pressure, a big spike in heat, or even when water gets in there, which kind of lowers the rock's melting point. And then, just like finding a power up in a hidden spot, this new molten magma finds a weak point in the crust and starts heading up. All right, section 2, the 3 main volcano types, because once that magma's on the move, it can create a few different kinds of volcanoes. Time to know your enemy builds, right? Okay, so here's the quick breakdown. You've got your shield volcano, think of it as a terrain smoother. Then there's the stratovolcano, that's your unpredictable mixed attack boss. And finally, the cinder cone, which is kind of like a temporary event that just spawns and then vanishes. Let's get into the details for each one. First up, we've got the shield volcano. Now, its lava has a really low viscosity, which is just a sciencey way of saying it's super runny and fluid. So when it erupts, that lava just flows for miles and miles, creating these absolutely enormous mountains with really gentle slopes. It's totally like a terrain smoothing ability, just gradually building up these huge new landscapes. A perfect example is Mauna Loa over in Hawaii. Okay, next up, the stratovolcano, and this is where things get really, really interesting and dangerous. This is what you probably picture when you think volcano. It's built up from all these alternating layers of thick, sticky lava and explosive ash. That's why it's a true mixed attack boss. It can switch between these slow, oozing lava flows and then bam, catastrophic explosions. So unpredictable. Mount St. Helens is the classic example here. And last but not least, we have the cinder cone. These are the little guys, small, steep mounds made from what we call pyroclastic fragments. That sounds complicated, but it's really just bits of frothy lava and rock that get shot out of a single vent and cool down in the air. The cool thing is they form super fast, but they don't stick around for long. Exactly like a temporary event spawn in a game. Okay, let's move on. Section 3, builders and world breakers. Now that we know the different types, let's talk about the incredible impact they have. Seriously, volcanoes are one of the most powerful examples of duality in all of nature. They are both creators and destroyers. So on one hand, volcanoes are amazing world builders. I mean, they create brand new land, whole islands, these massive towering mountains, all while dropping nutrient-rich ash that makes the soil super fertile. But then there's the other side. They can be absolute world breakers. You've got pyroclastic flows, these terrifying superheated clouds of ash and gas that just incinerate everything. And then there are lahars, volcanic mud flows that can literally bury entire cities. And you know what? The impact isn't just local. Not at all. A really massive eruption can blast so much ash and gas way up into the stratosphere that it can actually block sunlight from reaching the Earth. This can cause a temporary global cooling effect. It's basically a planet-wide debuff, all from a single event. This brings us to Section 4, decoding plate boundaries. So where do we actually find these world changers? Well, it turns out their locations aren't random at all. In fact, they're like reading the quest log for the entire planet. Yeah, where you find a volcano tells you exactly what's going on with the Earth's crust. So where plates are pulling apart, that's a diversion boundary. Magma rises up to create new land. Easy enough. Where one plate dives under another, a convergent boundary, that sinking plate melts and fuels those really explosive stratovolcanoes. Now, where plates just slide past each other at transform boundaries, you get a ton of earthquakes, but not really any volcanoes. And then you've got the special case, hotspots. These are stationary plumes of magma that just punch right through a plate as it moves over top, creating these awesome island chains, just like Hawaii. Okay, you've absorbed all the intel. You've been briefed. Now it's time to put that knowledge to the test. Let's do a quick mini quest. All right, here's your scenario. Picture this. You're looking at a geological map, and you spot two really obvious features right next to each other. First, there's a straight line of volcanoes. Second, there's a super deep ocean trench. So, based on everything we've just talked about, what's going on here? What type of plate boundary are you looking at? Ready for the walkthrough? Okay, here's how you solve it. Step 1, analyze the pattern. You've got a linear arrangement of volcanoes right next to a trench. Step 2, identify the clues. That's a volcanic arc plus a deep trench. Step 3, you put those clues together. What's the signature move here? It's gotta be subduction. So, final conclusion, it's a convergent boundary. Quest complete. Nicely done. And that really just says it all, doesn't it? That quote nails it. If Earth is this giant open world game, then volcanoes are the patch updates. Sometimes they're building awesome new content, and sometimes they're completely nerfing the existing biomes. And just like that, you've leveled up your geology knowledge. So let's do a quick recap of the key takeaways from this whole explainer. So let's look at today's Geology XP. First, you learned how magma actually forms and creates volcanoes. You can now spot the three major types: the terrain smoothing shield, the explosive stratovolcano, and the pop-up cinder cone. And maybe most importantly, you've learned how to read the landscape to understand the incredible power of plate tectonics. And now, it's time for the final boss battle. I want to know what you think. Which of these volcano types would be the ultimate geological final boss? Would it be the massive land-building shield, the small but fiery cinder cone, or the steep, unpredictable, and explosive stratovolcano? Drop your answer in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more explainers on all this awesome Earth lore. Thanks so much for exploring with us today.